what? I just figured out something. Come on in, push that like button. Show me some love. Come on in, be my friend. Push that like button. Show me some love. Let's see if we can relate, if we can conversate and relate and talk about what we need to talk about. How y'all doing? Black business, stand on it. If you black and you in business, independent business, you ought to stand on it. It's the VIP room right here. See that VIP? VIP. Come on in, push that like button. You a VIP person. Oh wow. I just kicked over there. How y'all doing? Come on in, push that like button. Push that like button, come on in, have a seat. We need to talk about something. I found out some very valuable information that's gonna make you say, wow. It's gonna really make you say, wow. Oh my God, I didn't even believe, man. I really, sometimes we just gotta, ooh, these mosquitoes is everywhere. Ooh, Lord Jesus. These mosquitoes, push that like button. Don't nobody like you, Snag. I don't know why don't nobody like me. I'm a likable type of person, man. A likable type of guy. There's a lot of people agree that I'm a likable type of person. Come on in. Be my friend. There we go. Come on in, baby girl. How y'all doing? Okay. There we go. Y'all know that I'm an actor. I'm the cameraman. And I'm the star of my show. Let me make sure I got this right. Okay. Push that like button. Show me some love. I am a real black businessman. And we finna talk business tonight.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
Okay, let's get this started. Y'all here? Y'all with me tonight? Okay. I've been thinking, when did Trump get infiltrated? When did Trump become controllable? When we really think about this, I want y'all to, this is going to be something to make us really think of what's, make it make more sense of what's going on right now. Trump got infiltrated. Trump got infiltrated. This is not the same Trump that black people in America voted for. Push that like button. Show me some love. Show me some love. But I'm going to talk to y'all about some things tonight that some of y'all might not even know exist. But after the night, after we get to talking about the forefathers, I'm finna show y'all some deep history. My grandfather gave me this picture right here. And his grandfather gave it to him. Not his father, his grandfather gave it to him. Now, this right here is a picture that been passed down in my generation from grandchild to grandchild. And I really want to pass this down to my grandson. So when I have a grandson, I'm going to pass this down to my grandson. Like my grandfather passed it down to me, and his grandfather passed it down to him. You got to skip a generation. My son know about this history, but I'm going to give it to his son. Okay, this picture is a historical picture of all the Confederate generals in the Confederate Army. This is the Confederacy. the generals, uh, the this is the whole Confederacy right here, the head of the Confederacy. And there's a there's another side to this story that a lot of people, black people, don't know. That it was a lot of black people that fought on the Confederate side, on the Confederate side. And my great grandfather, my great grandfather, my great great grandfather, my great grandfather gave it to me. No, my grandfather gave it to me. So his grandfather gave it to him. So my grandfather, his father would have been my great grandfather. His grandfather would have been my great great grandfather. Let's get the history down so everybody can understand that I want this to make sense. So back in the Civil War, when the Civil War and after the Civil War ended, there was a lot of black people that helped a lot of the Southerners, the white people, because at the end, when the Confederate realized they was losing, a lot of them started abandoning their platoons and going back home, giving up. And that was treason. That was considered treason to the Confederate Army. So there was a lot of white. How y'all doing? Push that like button. This right here, I'm going to name off all these generals, but there's a couple of people in here that really stand out because supposedly one of these is supposed to be my great, 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 great grandfather. Now, I don't want to talk about this, but there's a lot of black people that got a white man somewhere down their generational path that is a relative by genetic they genetic relatives, and it's only one way that a white man can be related to a black person, and that's some kind of way that white man had to have relations with one of those or two of those black people. Let me ask y'all something. Is there a way that people can take their likes back on YouTube? I just wonder. Because I had 7 likes. I got 32 people watching right now. But then I look back up and I only got 2. So is there a way that people can take their likes back? There is? Oh man, I did not know. I would like for y'all to leave a comment, acknowledge yourself. We're going to get back into this. This is not what this video is about. This video is the moment they got Trump. And people don't understand what's going on. Trump has been infiltrated. This is not the same Trump that we had in his first run, right? Oh, Trump done flipped on him, ain't he? He doing everything he said he wasn't gonna do. But I'm gonna tell you what I see, and I don't know if y'all see this, if you understand what I see. Trump has been infiltrated, and he's been infiltrated by fear. He feared the Jews. You remember when Trump was running for his second term and he got shot at and they grazed his ear? I believe that was the warning sign. After he some kind of way got away, the dude didn't miss this. He missed the shot. I believe the Jews called a close meeting with Donald Trump and told him, say, you came close to death, motherfucker. And that was a sign to let you know that your mouth, you ain't running shit this time. You gonna do what the fuck we tell you gonna do, when the fuck we tell you gonna do it, and how the fuck we tell you to do it. You hear that, motherfucker? or you gonna be just like, and the next day they assassinated Charlie Kirk. And that was a clear example to Trump that this can happen to you. If you don't listen and do what we tell you to do, we will take you out exactly how we took Charlie Kirk out in front of everybody on national TV. And I think Trump really feared the forces that was against him. Because if you really understand or really know, if you know where Trump daddy from. Now I want, since I got people commenting, let's comment. I want y'all, let's talk about this. Please come in. Let me go to my, you know what? I need somebody to answer a question, and ain't nobody answering the question fast enough. So I asked you, where is Trump father from? Do anybody know? You said all speculations. These are not speculations. These are common sense answers. Sometimes you got to learn how to use common sense, but that's the thing. God didn't give every man the sense of common sense. And a lot of men don't have common sense, and that's okay. That's why God blessed us with that gift, so we can use our common sense and give y'all, ideas, or how do you say, open up your mind on what's really going on. You know what I mean? And plus, I know people that's in the Illuminati, and they give me information, or they tell me information, and I come back and tell y'all about it. So push that like button, show me some love. I'm a real stand-up comedian. This is my space. This is my space, my safe space, and we in it together, and we talking history. We talking about what happened to Trump, why he acting the way he acting, why he's being controlled like a little puppet, and what's going on with him agreeing with everything that Israel is doing. And also, I want to tell y'all something. America, we ain't as powerful and mighty as we say we are. And Iran done proved it to the world. The same way they proved to the world that they can touch Israel, that they can touch the Jews. Yeah, the Jews, they jaw is glass. They got a glass jaw. Y'all know what a glass jaw is? They got a glass jaw. They been getting their ass tore up over there. Now they ain't showing y'all the real footage because it's illegal for a Jewish citizen to record a bombing, any type of attack on Jewish soil. Why is it illegal for them to record what's going on over there? Because they don't want us to see that Iran is tearing their ass up. They tearing their ass up. And something, Benjamin Illuminati, Illuminati, Benjamin Illuminati, he has disappeared. I believe right now, this is the bullshit that they gonna hit us with. Benjamin Net Illuminati has been assassinated because he's been out of camera for over a week now. He's been out of range. They've been showing a whole bunch of AI videos, and the Iranians said that they sent drones that hit his residential compound, and ain't nobody confirming that he's dead. And he been gone too long. He usually went to the White House. He ain't even came to the White House and visited Trump or nothing. I believe, and this is gonna be the dagger to the war. Benjamin Net Illuminati is dead. I believe it. Now push that like button. 50 people, I should have at least 25 likes. Until we see it in the flesh and he come back to America and go to the White House. He usually come to the White House every 30, 40 days. No more than 45. He will be back at the White House. You see how many visits he done made to the White House? Just this year alone, I think like 3 times. Trump love. Push that like button. If you love Trump, push that like button. Show Trump some love. Okay. Right now we gonna go on and get to we gonna spill the tea. Come on in. While I'm sitting here talking to y'all, I'm dang near done forgot that the Lord done blessed me. Look at here. The Lord done blessed me with some steak, some potatoes, some corn, some beans and rice. Oh my God. Oh, with some guacamole. How y'all doing? Ain't God good? Oh my God. Put salt on this. It's gonna get messy. I got this from the Mexican restaurant. I went down there. So this gonna get messy. This look how sloppy this is. Sit here talking to y'all. Well, I want to take these damn things back. They done overcooked my fries. As long as I waited in that damn drive-thru. Push that like button. Show me some love. Do you know the moment that Donald Trump got infiltrated? And all God is good. God is good. God is great. God is good. Good is God. The only thing different between God and the word good is the extra O. And as long as you live for God and do good, you're going to have a good life. If you agree, push the like button. If you disagree, push the like button anyway. This is what makes this meal delicious. These onions right here. Take this meal to a whole nother level. So live. How y'all doing? Push that like button. Show me some love. Okay, there's breaking news. The Mexican, what I was gonna say? The Mexicans' greatest advocate, the greatest advocate that the American Mexicans ever had, Cesar Chavez, has been accused by one of his baby mamas. He got 2 kids by this lady. That she was brung over here from Mexico when she was 13, 14, forced to have sex with Cesar Chavez on the farms that he was protesting in America to allow illegal immigrants to work and be safe. Now, The whole union of Cesar Chavez has collapsed. They ain't gonna have his walk no more. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Thank you for pushing that like button. Show me some love. We finna engage. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is not bullshit.
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5.
You know what? I'm gonna put these onions in the oven. Give me 1 minute, and I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna put these onions in the oven. Push that like button. Show me some love. Thank y'all for coming in. Thank y'all for being my friend.
Now, that ain't even bullshit.
Follow MrSnaggapuss Comedy. Oh my God. I'm gonna get back on stage one day. I'm gonna be on a comedy show again, on some comedy shows. I just gotta blow up my YouTube channel. Once I blow up my YouTube channel, I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna be doing stand up every weekend whenever I feel like it. But right now, I'm working on my audience. I'm working on my community. I'm working on my social media following. So if you want to support a black man, a real black man, you know how long I've been doing stand up, about 20 years. I've been on YouTube since 2009, and I just got 10,000 subscribers. But as you can tell by my numbers and the people that be coming in and commenting and showing me love, I'm deserving of a nice YouTube audience, a nice channel. I'm gonna take my money and do good with it. I'm trying to open up a homeless shelter. I'm trying to help people who can't help themselves. I'm trying to open up an adult school, help a black man get an education. Most of these brothers ain't even got a high school diploma. Help brothers get their ID, what it take to get their ID, help them get their social security card and birth certificate. They don't even know how to order. There's a lot of stuff that people need help with, and they don't know how to do it. And it's, God blesses us, the people, with common sense, to, put our heads together, put a business together, and help them who can't help themselves. And how y'all doing? Push that like button. Don't nobody like you, Snag. When you get to talking about opening up homeless shelters and taking and soup kitchens, trying to help people, and opening up a school to educate black people, man, them folks don't want to hear no shit like that. You trying to help people that can't help themselves. Don't nobody want to hear no shit like that. I know. I used to be one of them niggas that couldn't help myself. Now that I can help myself, and I'm trying to help somebody else help theyself, don't nobody want my help. Ain't that about a bitch? And you still suffer. You still need help, but you don't want my help. Ain't that about a bitch? You see, God can send you help, and your ass will let it float right by you. You know, you ain't know somebody to save you. I understand. The Lord is my shepherd. Oh my God, I think it's ready now. How y'all doing? Y'all good? Y'all blessed? Oh my God. Those onions. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh, there you go. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this shit right here. That's that smoke. That's that cheese. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Had to go put it in the oven. Oh my God. With them onions on them bell pepper. Oh yeah. Now this right here gonna be delicious. Look at that. That's gonna be delicious right there. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Oh, that guacamole. Oh my God, look at that. Mm-hmm. I'm about to lose track what I need to do. Put some more salt on it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And let's do this. Oh yeah. Mm. You smell them onions. Mm. 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 You see how I took one pack of ketchup and spread it across all that? Now, some people just don't know how to spread ketchup. But if I had to just use that one pack, I would have been all right. I spread it that pack good. Show me some love. I'll show you some. If you show me some, I'll show you some. Okay, look at him. Look at him. Somebody said,
Warning, warning, bullshit alert. That was bullshit.
no, it wasn't.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
All right. I was just reading that comment. That's why I pushed the bullshit. But take precautions. Push that like button. All right. We just getting started. I had to take a second and prep my food. Oh yeah, let's see. They good. It worth every bit of the $23 I just paid for this shit. Mm. Delicious. Man, something happened to me today. I gotta share with y'all. I had walked to the back by the alley, And I seen one of my partners riding through there, somebody I knew. And I said, hey. And he stopped. He bagged up. Hey, man, what you doing, man? What you been up to? Oh, man, nothing. And somebody jumped up at the same time. God damn, niggas. We look over. It's a black dude. He getting up from behind the dumpster. Man, y'all just disturbed the shit out of me. I was asleep. Man, it was like 3:30 in the afternoon. It was like hot as hell. And my boy was like, man, you ain't got no business back there going to sleep anyway. He said, man, I'm glad I see you, man. What's up with your dogs, man? Your damn dogs, man, you can't keep them tied up. He said, nah, man, they escape artists, man. Every time I tie them up, they get away. They get out. So I know, man, because they bit me in my sleep the other night. I was like, damn. The dog bit you? Yeah, man. I was going to do something about it. Call animal control. He's like, man, you better not call animal control on my dog. You ain't got no business sleep on the ground anyway. The dog was just checking to make sure you were still alive. Push that light down. Mm. Something happened. Because I had ketchup spread it on here, on all these. How y'all doing? You said looks yummy. How you doing? Push that like button. I really got caught up in feeding my face.
As the U.S. and Israeli war extends into its 19th day, we turn now to look at how the U.S. is using artificial intelligence to identify and prioritize targets. The system, known as Project Maven, was created by Palantir, and it incorporates the AI model Claude built by Anthropic. The Pentagon's investigating if the AI system played a role in the U.S. strike on the Iranian girls' school that killed over 170 people.
But I've seen that you called the Ayatollah Khamenei the new Hitler of the Middle East.
لا شك.
Absolutely.
Why?
لأن يريد
Because he wants to expand. He wants to create his own project in the Middle East, very much like Hitler, who wanted to expand at the time. Many countries around the world and in Europe did not realize how dangerous Hitler was until what happened. I don't want to see the same events happening in the Middle East.
Does Saudi Arabia need nuclear weapons to counter Iran?
السعودية لا تريد أن تمتلك أي.
Saudi Arabia does not want to acquire any nuclear bomb. But without a doubt, if Iran developed a nuclear bomb, we will follow suit as soon as possible.
But I've seen that you called the Ayatollah Khamenei the new Hitler of the Middle East.
لا شك.
Absolutely.
Why?
لأن يريد.
Because he wants to expand. He wants to create his own project in the Middle East, very much like Hitler, who wanted to expand at the time. Many countries around the world.
Hold on a second, honey. I'm in here.
Not Honey.
I'm sorry?
And I'm Dr. McCaffrey and not Honey. Appreciate it.
You were Dr. McCaffrey?
I am indeed.
Would you rather I call you counselor, doctor, or anything else?
I love Dr. McCaffrey, Your Honor. It creates a tone of respect.
Where I'm from, you sort of got to earn that.
Guess what? Where I'm from, you're born with it.
Get out of my courtroom! Get out!
A pleasure.
Hold on a second, honey. I'm
And I'm
in
Dr.
here.
Not Honey.
I'm sorry?
And I'm Dr. McCaffrey and not Honey. Appreciate it.
You were Dr. McCaffrey?
I am indeed.
Would you rather I call you counselor, doctor, or anything else?
I love Dr. McCaffrey, Your Honor. It creates a tone of respect.
Where I'm from, you sort of got to earn that.
Guess what? Where I'm from, you're born with it.
Get out of my courtroom! Get out!
A pleasure.
Hold on a second, honey. I'm in here.
Not Honey.
My name is not Honey.
Get in the cage and wage war. No brand can ever do this like cage war. Courage in the ring, blood, sweat, and tears. Endurance, everything. No room for fear. Pull up to the cage war. Where the fighters wage war. I got 'em rep.
This thing shouldn't move this fast. The 2026 BMW X10 bends physics on command. Massive, wide, unapologetic. Yet it launches like a missile with over 750 horsepower and brutal all-wheel grip. Inside, the cockpit feels sealed, focused, dominant. This isn't an SUV pretending to be fast. It's BMW rewriting size, speed, and fear. This thing shouldn't move this fast. The 2026 BMW X10 bends physics on command. Massive, wide, unapologetic. Yet it launches like a missile with over 750 horsepower and brutal all-wheel grip. Inside, the cockpit feels sealed, focused, dominant. This isn't an SUV pretending to be fast.
We're good.
This is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center, tracking the latest on the war with Iran and a major escalation tonight. Take a look at this video.
As a kid, Matt Mahan's mentor was his dad, a union letter carrier who proudly provided a reliable, basic service. Lesson learned. Mahan.
This is Brian Schrader in the WRAL Live Center, tracking the latest on the war with Iran and a major escalation tonight. Take a look at this video, confirmed by the BBC as being accurate, something that is real, out of Qatar, where tonight Iranian missiles hit the main energy hub of that nation. This is the world's largest liquefied natural gas export facility, and there is significant damage there. It comes after Israel attacked one of Iran's offshore natural gas fields earlier. And also, we are hearing from Abu Dhabi that gas operations have been suspended at energy sites because of debris from intercepted Iranian missiles falling out of the sky. Also new tonight, the Washington Post is reporting that the Pentagon is going to ask the White House for $200 billion to continue fighting the war in Iran.
$200 billion?
Hello, namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. Day 19 of the war, Iran's own gas field has been struck. It has launched revenge attacks after the killing of its security chief. It has dropped cluster bombs on Israel and is firing ballistic missiles on the UAE. It is also easing the choke on the Strait of Hormuz. But despite the escalation, the losses and the deaths of top leaders, the Iranian regime is standing because it was designed for a war like this. Tonight we look at Iran's strategy of mosaic defense. Also, what are the bunker buster bombs that the Americans are firing? What are Trump's options now that his allies have refused to join the war and Iran is still standing? Why is Bitcoin rising when all other assets are falling? And what is Ukraine doing in the West Asia war? In other news, relief for Indian air travelers. India has tightened rules for airlines, no extra charges on 60% of the seats. And democracy North Korea style, Kim Jong-un has won 99.93% of the vote. All this and more lined up, the headlines first. Afghanistan's Taliban government vows to avenge the deadly Kabul bombing, but they have left the door open for talks to end the conflict. A mass funeral was held for some of the hundreds of victims of a Pakistani strike on a Kabul drug treatment center on Monday. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. puts the brakes on a public transportation fare hike announced just a day earlier. Instead, he promised the country's commuters free rides. The Philippines imports nearly all of its crude oil from West Asia. The archipelago nation has been battling massive price increases due to the Iran war. China blasts Australia and New Zealand for quote-unquote colonial-style arrogance. The outburst follows Canberra and Wellington, raising concerns over Beijing's human rights record. The two countries have also condemned China's activities in the disputed South China Sea. Nigerian President Bola Tinubu receives a ceremonial welcome in the UK. This is the first state visit to Britain by a Nigerian head of state in nearly 4 decades. The two countries are major partners in trade and defense. London is also home to a massive Nigerian diaspora. And Senegal calls for an independent international investigation. This comes after the Confederation of African Football stripped the country of its Cup of Nations title. It has now been awarded to Morocco. In January, several Senegalese players had walked off the pitch in protest over a penalty.
The war in the Middle East.
It's day 19 of the West Asia War. Overnight, the Iranian regime confirmed a significant loss. Their security chief Ali Larijani is dead. Yesterday, Israel claimed to have killed him. Overnight, Iran confirmed his death. And Larijani was a very important figure. You could call him the de facto leader of Iran. Yet, his death did not trigger a meltdown. It triggered an escalation. Iran has launched what they're calling revenge attacks on Israeli cities. They used cluster bombs in these latest airstrikes. Now, as the name suggests, these are not single projectiles. They explode into multiple bomblets or clusters. Take a look.
Yeah, they getting fucked up over there in Israel.
These bomblets targeted Tel Aviv. Some of them destroyed cars and buildings in central Israel. And just to be clear, cluster bombs are banned in international law. Yet Iran is firing them at Israel. These smaller bomblets cause wider damage to enemy.
They got them from America.
They can also exhaust air defense systems. Of course, nobody seems to care about international law anymore. Recently, the US sold cluster munitions to Ukraine, and now Iran is using them against Israel. It's basically no holds barred. Reports say
The US sold them to Iran.
coordinating their response. The Hezbollah is firing around 100 rockets per day. These rockets are reaching Israel around the same time as Iran's missiles. The idea is to overwhelm the air defenses. And Israel knows this. They're expanding their operations in Lebanon. On the ground, Israeli soldiers and tanks are pushing on. They're taking over parts of southern Lebanon. And in the air, the bombing continues. Israel hit a building in the heart of Beirut, that too without any...
Israel knocking down whole apartment building.
The Lebanon campaign is proving to be brutal. More than 900 people have been killed so far. Among them, 111 are children. Israel is asking people in southern Lebanon to evacuate. Their end goal is to create a buffer zone. Over in the Gulf, more interceptions were reported today. Iran fired 13 ballistic missiles at the UAE. Qatar, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia also reported missiles and drones. The Iraqi city of Erbil also reported drone hits. On the other side, the strikes on Iran are widening. We are seeing a new set of targets being hit. Gas and oil facilities, top regime leaders, and even nuclear sites. A projectile struck the vicinity of Iran's Bushehr nuclear plant. No damage or casualties have been reported, but the strike itself is worrying. Bushehr is located along the Gulf coast. It is operated by Russian officials using Russian uranium. If this becomes a pattern, it is a cause of worry. Same with the energy strikes. Iran claims the US and Israel hit a giant energy facility in the Gulf. It is called South Pars. It's the largest natural gas field in the world. Both Iran and Qatar share this facility. They produce around 730 million cubic meters of gas, which is why this strike is worrying. So far, Israel and the US had not hit Iran's major energy sites. The idea was to keep oil prices in check, energy prices in check. If that policy has changed, it means two things. One, the US and Israel are escalating, and two, energy prices will rise further. Of course, Iran is threatening to hit back. They have promised to strike Gulf refineries in the coming hours. In fact, they've issued specific evacuation orders. Samref refinery in Saudi Arabia, Jubail Petrochemical Complex also in Saudi, Al Hosn gas field in the UAE, Mosaic petrochemical complex in Qatar, and Ras Laffan refinery also in Qatar. Iran says all 5 of these facilities will soon be hit, and this is a dilemma for Donald Trump. He does not want a bigger energy crisis. He wants to give the impression of a limited operation. Basically, he wants it both ways.
We have to put out this cancer. It's a cancer. We had to take that operation, and we did, and it was very successful. And it continues, frankly, as somebody said, they could leave today, and it would take 10 years to rebuild the damage that's been done, but we're not ready to leave yet. But we'll be leaving in the near future. We'll be leaving in pretty much the very near future. But right now, they've been decimated from every standpoint. And again, we've had great support from countries in the Middle East. Great support.
The messaging is all over the place. Trump says Iran's military has been decimated. He says it will take them 10 years to rebuild from the damage. He also says he will wrap up the war soon. Then why the escalation? Why target regime leaders, nuclear sites, and gas fields? That part is not clear yet. Trump has set vague but ambitious objectives for this war, but he wants to sell it as a minor operation. Like I said, he wants it both ways. Meanwhile, his own intelligence is undercutting his claims. Trump says Iran was rebuilding its nuclear program, but today his intelligence chief, Tulsi Gabbard, briefed the US Congress. In her written testimony, she has said the very opposite. Tulsi Gabbard's report said that Iran did not try to rebuild its enrichment capabilities. That was the written submission. But in her oral address, she omitted that part. Listen to this.
Even in your printed testimony today on page 6, and your last paragraph on page 6, as a result of Operation Midnight Hammer, Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated. There have been no efforts to try to rebuild their enrichment capability. You omitted that paragraph from your oral opening. Was that because the president said there was an imminent threat 2 weeks?
Sir, I recognize that the time was running long, and I skipped through some of the portions.
So you chose to take
my oral delivered remarks.
You chose to omit the parts that contradict the president.
This puts Trump in a difficult spot. The public is against the war. The intelligence is against the war. So the ball is now in the president's court. Does he want to keep climbing the escalation ladder, or does he want an off-ramp? So it's been a brutal 48 hours for Iran. They've lost some of their most powerful men, like the siege commander Gholam Raza Soleimani. He was killed in an Israeli strike. Also, Ismail Khatib, who was Iran's intelligence minister. But the biggest blow was this one, the death of Ali Larijani, Iran's top security chief and one of the most powerful men in the system. When you look at the list, one thing becomes evident. It's not about hitting big targets. It's a strategy to decapitate Iran's leadership, to shake the regime from the top down. And Israel says its next target is Mujtaba Khamenei, the new supreme leader of Iran.
Mujtaba Khamenei. As for Mujtaba Khamenei, his status is unknown. We don't see him and we don't hear him. But I can tell you one thing. We will continue, as we have proven, to pursue anyone who poses a threat to the state of Israel or raises a hand against it. No one is immune. We will track him down, find him, and neutralize him.
But here's the plot twist. Despite losing top commanders, despite losing decision makers, despite strike after strike, the Iranian regime is still standing. So what's really going on here? Is Iran on the edge of collapse? Or
Nope.
was it designed to survive exactly this kind of war? Let's rewind back to February 28th. US Israeli strikes killed Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. They also killed some 40 generals and leaders. They eliminated senior figures in Iran's nuclear command. Basically, they shattered Tehran's leadership. In most countries, this would lead to a total collapse. You cut off the head and the rest falls. That's how modern warfare is supposed to work. But Iran did not collapse. It fought back. In the days that followed, it lost more leaders. On March 3rd, the new defense minister was killed, and he was killed within a day of his appointment. On March 8th, top IRGC officials were taken out. On March 12th, the missile unit commander was killed. On March 17th, Ali Larijani and the Basij commander were killed. And today, the intelligence minister, Khatib, he's been killed. How many leaders do you have to kill for a regime to fall?
Two.
Check out faster with
And they still there.
Pay later with Zip.
My Iranians gonna fight to the end. Push that like button.
Madness at Mark Christopher Auto Center. We have loads of inventory, all marked down to our lowest price of the year. Get this 2026 new Chevrolet Blazer EVLT for $499 a month. Score huge savings before time runs out. Mark Christopher Auto Center, #1 in California for a reason.
Tonight.
What about you, Rock? What do you miss most about home?
You are very brave.
Project Hail Mary, rated PG-13, tonight.
The regime is standing. It is standing because Iran was built for this. It has planned for this scenario for decades. Iran follows what it calls the mosaic defense model. It may sound complicated, but it's actually very simple. Think of it like this. Most countries are like building blocks. If you remove the base, if you remove the top leadership, everything collapses. Iran is more like a spider web. You hit one node and the web shakes, but it does not break. This model was adopted by the IRGC in the late 2000s. IRGC, as you would know, is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the army whose job is to defend the regime. They introduced this structure. Their commander at the time was Muhammad Ali Jafri, and he implemented it. The inspiration came from regional conflicts, especially the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. And the turning point was the collapse of Saddam Hussein. With his death, with Saddam's death, his country unraveled. Iran wanted to avoid a similar fate, so they started working on a new structure. So what is this mosaic defense? It's a military doctrine built on one harsh assumption. In a real war, you will take hits. Your top commanders will be killed, your bases will be destroyed, your communications will go dark, and even your central control could collapse. What do you do then? How do you prevent that? Iran broke its military into multiple layers, semi-independent, regional, self-sufficient groups. There is no single point of failure, no single head to cut off. Under this system, there are many pieces. The IRGC, the Basij force, the army, the missile units, the naval forces, they all function like pieces of a mosaic. If one piece is shattered, the rest still hold. If leaders are killed, the system does not freeze. If communications are cut, units do not wait. They already know what to do next. Because this doctrine has one core goal: make Iran impossible to paralyze and exhaust the enemy with a long war. And that is the real story here. Yes, Israel strikes are hitting hard. They're taking out key figures. They're disrupting the chain of command. But they're not breaking the system. It's not something the Americans accounted for. And now they're grappling with a big question. If you can't break the system from the top, then how do you end the war at all? This war is costing investors dearly. Since it began, Indian indices have lost nearly 8%. They saw some relief today, a 1% recovery, but it's only a fraction of what they've lost. There's only one asset which has remained steady throughout, and that is Bitcoin. It has outperformed almost everything else. The S&P 500, the Nasdaq, even gold. Bitcoin is doing better than all of them. Since the war began, Bitcoin has gained 14%. So what explains this trend? Let's look at the current status. Bitcoin is trading at around $72,000. And like I said, it's rising when everything is falling. This may seem counterintuitive, because when there is fear, people run away from risky assets like Bitcoin. They turn towards safe assets like gold, and yet Bitcoin is beating gold. So who is buying Bitcoin? Mostly large corporations and investment funds, and they're not buying all at once. They're buying gradually, as and when they feel the price is ideal. And they're doing it through something called ETFs. ETFs are exchange-traded funds. They're like a pool of money. Think of it as a mutual fund, but for cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, or crypto, is digital money, and Bitcoin is the oldest and largest of them all. The ETF is managed by financial experts. This pool of money, the exchange-traded fund, is managed by financial experts. Investors put money in. The fund buys the underlying asset, in this case Bitcoin. The investor never holds the actual coin. They simply own a share of the fund. And right now, there is a lot of this buying activity going on. This month, some $1.5 billion has been poured in. So that's one of the factors. The other factor, interestingly, is Iran. Iran has been playing in the crypto market, although the volumes are small. When the war began, crypto activity in Iran spiked. There was an increase in crypto outflows. Let me share one estimate with you. $2.3 million moved out of Iran's crypto exchanges. The largest crypto exchange in Iran is called Novitex. It has more than 11 million users. In this one exchange alone, there was a 700% spike in outflows. Again, this was money leaving the exchange immediately after the first strikes. And where did the money go? Well, there are all kinds of reports doing the rounds. Some say the money was taken to overseas platforms. Others say it shifted to other domestic exchanges. Going by one report, a significant portion went to unidentified wallets. These are digital addresses with no traceable owner. Experts believe two kinds of traders were active here: the ordinary citizens of Iran and Iran's state-linked entities. They were moving the funds through assets like Bitcoin. Now, this may sound extraordinary for a country like Iran, but it's a serious player in the cryptocurrency space. Iran has built an entire crypto ecosystem out of necessity. It has been under American sanctions for decades. It is cut off from the global banking system. It cannot access the US dollar, which is the reserve currency of the world. And this makes it nearly impossible for Iran to move money across borders. For ordinary Iranians, this has made financial life extremely difficult. For the Iranian state, it has made doing business with the world almost impossible. So Iran built a workaround. In 2019, the government legalized industrial crypto mining. Licensed facilities were brought under official oversight. Iran built up a parallel financial system, one that could escape Western sanctions. By 2025, Iran's cryptocurrency market had grown to nearly $7.8 billion. Some estimates say the value is much higher. It is touching $10 billion according to them. And who owns all this cryptocurrency? One dominant player is the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the guardian of Iran's regime. Reports say last year the IRGC moved some $3 billion through digital assets like Bitcoin. Iran's central bank has also been accumulating cryptocurrency. It has bought over $500 million worth of digital assets. So it's not just Wall Street that's buying Bitcoin. Even countries like Iran, which remain cut off from the global financial system, are doing it. The only difference is that investors elsewhere want to just make money, and Iran wants to stay afloat. I guess that's the story of Bitcoin in 2026, an asset for investors and a lifeline for a regime under siege. Is Benjamin Netanyahu dead? Social media can't seem to get over this question. It started with some rumors. He tried to quell them by posting videos to show that he's alive, but that only made things worse. And now there are full-blown images to prove that he is dead. Images showing the Israeli Prime Minister lying in a pool of blood. It's shocking. It's also completely fake. These are AI-generated images. If you look closely, you can tell the details do not add up, the textures are off, the face looks distorted. But in the heat of a war, people don't stop to zoom in. They just share. And that's how misinformation spreads. Even prime ministers cannot escape this. They must constantly offer proof of life. And it's not just about Netanyahu or his images, it's a pattern. Fake attack videos, fake death claims, leaders being declared dead when they're very much alive. So every day we try to break down what's real and what's fake. We also show you the most important verified videos from the war. Today's video number 1 is from Iran. Like I told you, Israeli strikes have killed top Iranian officials like Ali Larijani and Ismail Khatib. Today their funerals took place in Tehran. There were thousands of people in attendance. Mourners hugged the coffins, they waved Iranian flags, and some were even seen crying. Video number 2 is also from Tehran. This one shows a strike. The Israeli Defense Forces or IDF say it's a drone attack, a strike targeting Basij operatives at a checkpoint. The Basij is a paramilitary volunteer militia in Iran. It serves as a domestic security force of the IRGC. These operatives are targeted by Israel. You can see a busy road and then an explosion. It was followed by thick smoke rising into the sky. Israel claims this was part of a much larger operation to target Basij and IRGC command centers. Our next video is from Israel, and this one comes with a twist. This is a video released by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu himself. In it, he confirms the death of Ali Larijani, but again, that's not what the internet focused on. Instead, people zoomed into the background and found a toy, a Bugs Bunny dressed as Superman. Yes, that's what's gone viral. And this has a backstory. Netanyahu has used this toy before. He took it during court appearances. It was a present to Netanyahu's son from a billionaire called Arnon Milchan. Prosecutors have tried to use this toy to show Netanyahu's ties to him. And so the Israeli Prime Minister uses it to ridicule such claims.
This morning we eliminated Ali Larijani, the boss of the Revolutionary Guards, which is a gang of gangsters actually running Iran.